This is ACEP's Capital Minute, a look at what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now, affecting emergency physicians and your patients. I'm Laura Wooster. ACEP is turning up the criticism of Anthem's controversial emergency care policy with a new public campaign that centers on two videos released on social media last week.
What you reading, honey?
These show patients with potentially life-threatening emergencies who are hesitant to seek emergency care out of fear that they could be hit with a large insurance bill.
Wow, well that could be serious. Let's go to the emergency room.
The videos have already been viewed thousands of times on YouTube and Facebook and have resulted in a published editorial in The Hill, a widely read newspaper on Capitol Hill, as well as several news stories, including one in Atlanta, Georgia, one of the 6 Anthem states where this policy is in effect. ACEP has said from the beginning that the policy is dangerous for patients, and as long as Anthem continues it, we will continue to fight. For more information or to view the videos, go to faircoverage.org. ACEP will be hosting a teletown hall on gun safety and violence prevention on June 5th with Congressman Seth Moulton of Massachusetts. Congressman Moulton will provide a brief overview of his work and recent experiences as a member of Congress working to enact common-sense gun safety legislation. He is also eager to engage with ACEP members to learn more about what you care about, how he can support it, and how together we can work on creating solutions to gun violence that keep our communities and families safer. The Teletown Hall meeting will be held on June 5th from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Stay tuned for more information on how to call in to participate. ACEP recently joined with 80 national medical, public health, and research organizations to send a joint letter to House and Senate leaders regarding CDC funding for firearms injury prevention. In the letter, we asked congressional leadership to provide $50 million in funding for the CDC to conduct public health research into firearm morbidity and mortality prevention as they consider appropriations for the fiscal year 2019. The Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, or HELP Committee, released a discussion draft last week of legislation to reauthorize the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Act, also known as PAHPA. This law concerns the country's public health preparedness and response framework. The committee requested comments from ACEP and other stakeholders regarding the draft legislative text. We expect the committee to revise the draft text and mark up its legislation before the Memorial Day recess begins at the end of this month. An update now to a lawsuit filed by ACEP against several U.S. federal departments in 2016 on the so-called greatest of 3 rule for calculating out-of-network payments by insurers for emergency care. ACEP had originally asked the federal court to require transparency of data by payers in calculating these payments. Last week, the federal government published a regulatory clarification in response to a court order requiring it to adequately address comments and proposals made by ACEP and other organizations during the original rulemaking process. The federal departments finally addressed our comments, but refused to make any revisions to the underlying rule itself in this clarification. ACEP's Board of Directors will consider options for further potential action during its upcoming meeting in a couple of weeks. For more information on this development, go to the link at the bottom of the screen. ACEP's Leadership and Advocacy Conference is only a couple of weeks away, May 20th to the 23rd. You can still register online. To find out more about our speakers and seminars or for more information on the Capitol Hill Day on Tuesday the 22nd, please go to the link at the bottom of the screen. That's ACEP's Capital Minute for the first week of May 2018. I'm Laura Wooster. Thanks for joining me.